Roy Hodgson's church in the center of the village expression. Listening to the current England football manager, Roy Hodgson, speaking on the radio, he used a very curious expression while speaking about his team. We have to try to get back to putting the church back into the village. I heard it on the radio, so I can't remember exactly what the context was. I think he was talking about managing disciplinary problems within the team. But we all know how waffly football managers can be in their interviews. What does this metaphor mean, and how does it apply in these circumstances?
You always want the church in the center of the village is not an English idiom or well-known phrase, but a borrowing from the Swedish Kyrkan mit ibyn. Roy Hodgson, the manager of the England football team, is saying that the power must lie with him and not with the players, as becomes clear when given in a fuller, earlier context. The phrase was also used when he was the manager of West Brom in April 2012. From planetsport.com. Hodgson says that a manager should be the top dog at a club, and that players who misbehave or cause havoc should either be controlled or let go. He cites Manchester United's Sir Alex Ferguson as an example of a gaffer who firmly keeps hold of the reins at all times. The 64-year-old, who spent much of his early career at Swedish clubs, said, "It's very difficult because, to use a Swedish expression, you always want the church in the center of the village. In football terms, the church is the club itself, which is often embodied in the manager, with Sir Alex Ferguson being the classic example. Once you get difficult players, backed up often by a sympathetic media who are happy to see the church get moved around, then it becomes very difficult. It should be that no player is bigger than his club. No player should really be a stronger person than the manager at the club. Once that happens, you're taking the power from where it should be, in the hands of someone who represents the club, the fans, the owners, and the team. You're giving it to someone who may have very personal, egotistical reasons for wanting to change things." Hodgson has been repeating this phrase during Euro 2012. The Guardian from June 7, 2012 says, talking to Gary Lineker on the BBC's Football Focus before the departure for Poland, Hodgson emphasized the need to restore optimism to the squad and surround the players with a positive atmosphere after a series of dispiriting performances in major tournaments. "We have to try to get back to putting the church back into the village," he said, leading to much Google searching and speculation that this must be a saying picked up during his employment in Sweden, Denmark, Finland, Switzerland, or Italy. Such enigmatic remarks were not characteristic of his predecessors in a job that has been said to possess the capacity to relieve its incumbents of their sanity. If things go wrong, those words will no doubt be presented as evidence for the prosecution. And a commenter added, "That thing about the village church, Swedish expression, Kyrkan mit ibyn, meaning the church in the center of the village, and denoting the tried and trusted order of things. Not that a Swede would ever say anything about putting it back there."
In the ancient Greek cities there was place in the middle of the city called agora. All important buildings were built there that include temples. It represented the heart of the city. In other wording, team is more important than any of the players put on its own.
The explanations posted so far are vague, so I feel compelled to reply. This phrase is still, quite, frequently used in French. Remettre/garder l'église au milieu du village, which literally means, put back/place/keep the church in the middle of the village. And it exists in many other European languages too. It can be used in different contexts, but in general it means, bring back/keep the focus on important, relevant, crucial things rather than wasting attention to what is conventional, convenient, popular, peripheral.
Roy Hodgson, maybe you can remember, was coach of the Swiss national football team. There, to keep the church in the village means do not cause an uproar, do not offend anybody, let's be at peace with everybody. I'm sure he picked the expression up while in Switzerland.
It is also a French expression. It means to respect the normal way of doing things. To respect the tradition. The village was built around the church, that's the normal.
살짝 더 계산을 해보시고